Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another Para Bellum Spotlight. I'm joined by Konstantinos once again,
Hello,
as
guys.
we take a sideways look at the world of EA and Conquest. And today we're going to be looking at a flaw in the theory of miracles, which is an interesting direction to take on magic and miracles within the world, where they know that deities exist to some degree, and the gods are out and about, or in some cases, uh, literally walking amongst their people.
Or
Sometimes,
falling on them. Yes,
or
it is.
falling. Yeah, yeah. So there are actually skeptical scholars, but not in the way we would view a skeptic, I suppose.
No, I think the skeptics on in our world are more. They don't doubt the existence of the gods. They doubt the actual divinity behind them.
Mm-hmm.
They consider them extremely powerful entities, often distorted by human perception rather than the other way around. So it's just after a certain point, for humans, this is too big, so they name it God. And the Stoics do not accept this as true divinity. And this is where their theories come from, that, okay, since they're not divine, they don't have something extra and out of this world that we don't know. They don't really manipulate forces that we cannot through magic manipulate. That
Mm-hmm.
means they're just powerful magicians. And that means that they cannot really grant you powers, essentially, the way people think they do,
Mm-hmm.
which is why miracles for them are not miracles.
Yeah, it's. I suppose it's approaching magic and clerical magic, divine magic, from the same direction. Priests and the like say they pray to their god, but really, is it any different from a mage incanting or following a specified ritual to achieve the same end results? The power they're tapping into may be more closely aligned than they think.
Exactly. And this is what the theory that the author of the Spotlight, like the in-character author of the
Hmm.
Spotlight, I mean, uh, pretty much brings forth, that, okay, if we accept that there's no divinity, true divinity, that has contacted us in the traditional manners,
Mm-hmm.
what is this? Because undoubtedly the priests and clerics of the Theist and Deist, the shamans and the Volva of the Nords, even the Wadrun have their own type of clerical or almost clerical magic. So what is it? And his approach is, but it's magic. It's magic as we know it. It's just a different path to magic, or a different element of
Mm-hmm.
magic. Traditionally, the arcane magic of Ea is associated with the four elements and their aspects: creation, destruction, and balance. So this proposal says that they are manipulating a fifth element, one of the others, because there are, of course, like, if you think about someone smiting
Mm-hmm.
with a magical kind of connotation of the world, it's pretty much fire, but it's not the same fire as a mage casting a firebolt or something similar, or a dwegon casting eruption that we
Mm-hmm.
all know and love. uh, so his approach is that this is simply something different, something that we have not explored, because
Mm-hmm.
the people who are more attuned to it do not necessarily have the same methodical approach that we have to our magic. And that is the question. That is the flaw in the theory of miracles, both from the point of view of the clerics, which truly believe that they are channeling the power of their god.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, beggars the question, but what if they're not wrong? And the other mages, Stoic analysts or scholars, which presume that no, it's magic. It's just you don't even know that you're doing magic. The Stoics have proposed a solution that essentially what they're doing is they are attaching to a primordial shard, or
Mm-hmm.
mote rather, because a shard would be too big, and that's how they get their powers. This is very much doubted by the author, who says that yes, but I don't think you understand how these things work, because a mode, whether primordial, of any kind of primordial aspect, whether it's destruction, creation, or balance, doesn't really understand the world as we do.
Mm-hmm.
So they cannot offer that finesse that spell casting through a human would require, and they definitely wouldn't just do what the human wants.
Yeah, it's very difficult to. It's the whole. If an ant could comprehend what we are, what would they think? And you could never know the mind of an ant as well. And so you can't just ask a motive. A motive is what is given the power to perform a very specific thing, because it just doesn't have the concept or context for how we live our lives. It also comes back to the old philosophical sort of equation, like, does man create God or does God create man? And if there's enough people believing in the same thing, would it be possible to form new religions within the world? Because eventually enough people following the same routes, practicing the same faith, and then praying for the same to the same God for miracles would therefore have a similar end result as well.
We know for a fact that this happens on AI. It has happened and it didn't go well, which is why the Stoic movement was very much supported by certain groups. Human faith or belief is considered to be one of the moving powers of this age of balance. It is how Haslia came to be, from a single mote of fire, creational, possibly fire. He became the pantocrator of the first human dominion that even the elder races were kind of reluctant to confront. And when they did, it didn't always go in their favor when Haslia was at the helmet. So we know that this is actually feasible in the world of AI. Belief is power. It is one of the three fundamental truths of our world. Belief is power, power attracts power, and power corrupts. And we saw all this in the saga, let's say, of Haslia. He was created through the power of belief. He attracted the pantheon around him and forced it until eventually both him and a good chunk, if not the entirety of his pantheon, were corrupted and turned against the very people that led to their ascension.
It's a fascinating view of the world the skeptic has taken. I also quite like the fact that this is another one of the spotlights that is written as an in-world style text from an author with a very particular point of view. And I love the idea of his upcoming 4th chapter, Miracles, Why Am I Not in Awe? It just has such a delightful connotation behind it.
That particular character has been created exactly with his role in the world, and right now we're using him in spotlights because this is his point of view is fantastic for what we're looking for in the spotlights. He questions what is considered to be, in a way, dogmatic about how the world operates. Being one of the mages himself, he has his peculiarities, as all human mages do in our world. His are questioning everything, even things that should not be questioned often. But so he is a very good tool for us to communicate that things are not always black and white in the world, that what is presented as absolute might not in fact be so. And this is the case for miracles. The typical dogma is that mages do arcane magic, clerics do divine magic, and those are two separate things with different rules. He challenges that and invites us to see that, but are they really that different? And if they're not, what does that mean? Both about the clerics, but also about our perception of magic in general.
Yeah, at that point, if a magician wants to take it to the extreme, to the nth degree, then there's no reason why somebody who can manipulate the power in one form shouldn't be able to manipulate the power to recreate the effects of any other type of, let's say, spellcaster, for want of a better word, whether it's Dweghom or
there are limitations. In our world, this is very evident. There are, let's say, physical limitations. The race you're born with already dictates how far you can, even assuming you are gifted, how far you can reach. Because, for instance, humans are a child of balance. They are the children of balance. They are the actual children of this world through life
Manifest.
itself.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they are balanced. The mages require an imbalance that in humans it's not dominant, which is why there are very few human spellcasters. Why the Dwegum, they are, by their very nature, and especially doubling down with what they did with War's prison, they are not a balanced species. Their very core is very much attuned to fire and earth as elements, and that means their magic is more powerful, or can be more powerful, so powerful enough, in fact, that it often turns against them, like physically, which is why they have to find the other ways to compensate and keep their own bodies in check.
It's an interesting dissertation, shall we say, on magic and miracles within the world. It's an absolute joy to talk to you about it today.
You too. Thank you.
If anybody has any questions, you can go and drop them below. I'll pass them across to the guys at Para Bellum. Hopefully get you an answer, and you can check out the spotlight now over on the Para Bellum Wargames website. I'll pop a link to that below this video. But until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.